Chapter 10. The Dying Detective. In this adaptation of a Sherlock Holmes story, everything is not quite what it seems. Characters. Sherlock Holmes, a famous detective. Dr. Watson, his friend and colleague. Culverton Smith, a murderer. Inspector Morton, a police officer, landlady of Sherlock Holmes. Scene 1. In the streets. Landlady, he is dying, Dr. Watson. For 3 days he has been sinking, and I doubt if he will last the day. I told him that I would bring a doctor, but he said he would see only you. You shouldn't waste an hour in coming to him, sir, or you may not see him alive. Watson, I will go to him at once. Scene 2. In Sherlock Holmes' bedroom. Holmes, stand back, stand right back. If you approach me, Watson, I shall order you out of the house. Watson, but why? Holmes, it's for your own sake, Watson. I know what is wrong with me. I have a horribly contagious disease that I picked up from a ship in the docks. Keep your distance and all is well. If you stand over there, I will talk. If you do not, you must leave the room. Watson, but if I can't treat you, how can you get better, Holmes? Holmes, go and fetch Mr. Culverton Smith of 13 Lower Burke Street. It may surprise you to know that this man, Mr. Culverton Smith, a planter, has better knowledge of this disease than any doctor on the earth. Mr. Culverton Smith is a well-known resident of Sumatra, now visiting London. Watson, he is a plantation owner. Holmes, yes, and an outbreak of the disease upon his plantation, which was far from any hospital, made him study it himself, with some rather far-reaching consequences. Watson, so, he will know how to cure you. Holmes, if you could persuade him to come here and give us the benefit of his unique experience of this disease, I have no doubt that he can help me. Plead with him, Watson. There has been an argument between us. Watson, an argument? Holmes, his nephew, Watson. I believed that his death was no accident. The boy died horribly. I suspected Mr. Smith. He has a grudge against me. You will soften him, Watson. Beg him, plead with him, get him here by any means. He can save me only. Watson, I will bring him in a taxi. Holmes, you will do nothing of the sort. You will persuade him to come, and then you will return before him. Make any excuse so as not to come with him. Don't forget, Watson, you won't fail me. You never did fail me. Scene 3. At Culverton Smith's home. Watson, I have come from Mr. Sherlock Holmes. He is dying. He believes that you are the only man in London who can save him. Smith, why should Mr. Holmes think that I could help him in his trouble? Watson, because of your knowledge of tropical diseases. Smith, is he pale? Is his speech rambling? Watson, occasionally. Smith, this sounds serious. Even though he is no friend of mine, I will come at once. You can rely upon my being there within half an hour at most. Scene 4. Back in Sherlock Holmes' bedroom. Holmes, well, did you see him, Watson? Watson, yes, he is coming. Holmes, admirable, Watson. Admirable. You are the best of messengers. You can now disappear from the scene. Watson, I must wait and hear his opinion, Holmes. Holmes, of course, you must. But I have reasons to suppose that this opinion I would be very much more frank and valuable if he imagines that we are alone. There is just room for you behind the head of my bed, Watson. And don't budge, whatever happens, do you hear? Don't speak, don't move. Just listen with all your ears. Watson hides behind the head of the bed. Smith knocks on the door, gets no reply, and enters. Holmes. Holmes. Can't you hear me? Holmes. Holmes, is that you, Mr. Smith? I hardly dared hope that you would come. Smith, do you know what is wrong with you? Holmes, the same disease that Victor had. Smith, Victor was a dead man on the fourth day, a strong, hearty young fellow. It was certainly, as you said, very surprising that he should have caught a tropical disease. In the heart of London, a disease, too, of which I had made such a very special study. Quite a coincidence, Holmes. Holmes, I know how you killed Victor. Smith, oh, you do you? Well, you can't prove it. Anyhow. But, what do you think of yourself spreading reports about me like that, and then crawling to me for help the moment you are in trouble? What sort of a game is that? Holmes, give me water. Smith, you are very near your end, my friend, but I don't want you to go till I have had a word with you. That's why I give you water. Pours him some water. There, don't slop it about. That's right. Can you understand what I say? Holmes, yes. Do what you can for me. Cure me and I will forget what I know. Smith, you can forget it or remember it, just as you like. You won't live to stand in the witness box. You'll soon be in quite another shaped box, my good Holmes, I assure you. It matters nothing to me that you know how my nephew died. It's not him we are talking about. It's you. Holmes, yes, but please, give me water. Please help me. Give me something to kill the pain. Smith, painful, is it? Yes, Victor did some squealing towards the end too. Your legs feel cramped, I suppose. Holmes, yes. Such painful cramp. Smith, can you remember any unusual incident in your life just about the time your symptoms began? Did anything come by post? A box by chance? Holmes, I'm fainting, I'm gone. Smith, you shall hear me. Do you remember a box, an ivory box? It came on Wednesday. You opened it, do you remember? Holmes, yes. I opened it. There was a sharp spring inside it. Some joke. Smith, it was no joke, as you will find to your cost. You fool, who asked you to cross my path? If you had left me alone, I would not have hurt you. Holmes, I remember. The spring. It drew blood. This box, the one on the table. Smith, the very one, by George. And it may as well leave the room in my pocket, puts it in his pocket. There goes your last shred of evidence. But you have the truth now, Holmes, and you can die with the knowledge that I killed you. You knew too much of the fate of Victor Savage, so you had to share it. You are very near your end, Holmes. I will sit here, and I will watch you die. Holmes sits up in bed and calls out in a confident voice, all is in order and this is your man. Inspector Morton appears from behind the curtain. Morton, Culverton Smith, I arrest you on the charge of the murder of one Victor Savage. Watson appears from behind the bed head, and the attempted murder of Sherlock Holmes. By the way, the prisoner has a small box in the right-hand pocket of his coat which it would be sensible to remove. I would handle it carefully if I were you. Put it down here. It may play an important part in the trial. Inspector Morton leads Culverton Smith away. Holmes, my dear Watson, I owe you 1,000 apologies. To think that I had to fool you into believing that I was sick. Watson, but your appearance. Holmes, your ghastly face. Holmes, 3 days of not eating anything at all do not improve one's beauty, Watson. For the rest, there is nothing which a sponge may not cure. With waistline upon one's forehead, belladonna in one's eyes, rouge over the cheekbones, and crusts of beeswax round one's lips, a very satisfying effect can be produced. Malingering is a subject upon which I have sometimes thought of writing an essay. Watson, but the box, the one that hurt you. Holmes, no, Watson, I did not touch that box. You can just see if you look at it sideways. Where the sharp spring like a viper's tooth emerges as you open it. I dare say it was by some such device that poor Savage was murdered. It was clear to me, however, that by pretending that he had really succeeded in his plan to kill me, I might get him to confess. That pretense I have carried out with the thoroughness of a true artist. Elementary, my dear Watson.